The first thing my wife said to me wasn't hello. It wasn't my name. It was, if you don't like it, we could just get a divorce. And the scariest part? She said it like she was absolutely sure I'd never call her bluff. If you've ever felt dismissed, replaced, or slowly erased inside a relationship you're trying to save, hit like, subscribe, and settle in. Because this isn't just a marriage story. It's a story about boundaries, emotional neglect, and what happens when someone finally stops begging to be chosen. It was a Tuesday night. Not dramatic, not special, just one of those quiet, forgettable evenings you assume will blur into all the others. I was sitting on the couch after dinner, phone in my hand, the TV murmuring something I wasn't actually watching. One of those shows that plays more like background noise than entertainment. Then Lauren walked in, arms crossed, jaw tight. That look, you know the one. The look that says the conversation is already over. You're just about to hear it. I'm going on a trip next week, she said. No greeting, no lead up, no question, just a statement. A decision already made. I looked up slowly. A trip? Yeah, leaving Friday morning. Back the following Friday. A full week. I waited. She didn't elaborate. Where to? Beach resort. Of course. With who? She shrugged, casual, dismissive. Some people from work. Some people. That phrase was doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because for the last 6 months, there had been one name that showed up more than any other. Mark. Mark said this. Mark suggested that. Mark thought it would be funny. Mark stayed late too. Always Mark. Is Mark going? I asked. She didn't even blink. Yeah, he organized it. Him, Rachel from accounting, and a couple others. A couple others. I sat up straighter. So, I said carefully, you're telling me you're going on a week-long beach trip with Mark, and you're just now mentioning it? She rolled her eyes. Not playful, not subtle, pure contempt. It's not like that. We're adults. Colleagues can travel together without it being weird. When did you plan this? A few weeks ago. A few weeks. She'd known for weeks, and told me 4 days before leaving. That was the moment something inside me tightened. So it never crossed your mind to talk to me about it? Or ask if I was okay with this? That's when her tone changed. The patience vanished. Something colder took its place. I'm not asking for permission, she said. I'm going. And if you don't like my choices, maybe we should just get a divorce. There it was. Said cleanly, casually, like she was ordering coffee. The room went silent. I looked at her, really looked at her, and something inside me shifted. Not anger, not panic, clarity. This wasn't a slip. This was confidence. She expected me to back down, to apologize, to swallow it like I had swallowed everything else lately. I didn't raise my voice. I nodded once. Got it. She blinked. That's it? She asked. You've been very clear. She studied my face, waiting for the argument that never came. Then she shrugged. Good. I'll start packing tonight. My flight's early. She turned and walked away. I listened as she dragged suitcases out of the closet, humming like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just placed our marriage on the table and walked away from it. I picked up my phone again, but this time I wasn't scrolling. For the first time in months, I was awake. Friday morning came faster than it should have. I barely slept, not because I was upset, but because my mind wouldn't slow down. It felt like something had finally clicked into place. Lauren was already dressed when I walked into the kitchen. Makeup perfect, dragging her suitcase like she was heading out for groceries. She was wearing a new sundress. I knew it was new because I'd never seen it before. I'll text you when I land, she said, eyes glued to her phone. Her thumbs moved fast. I didn't need to guess who she was texting. Have fun, I replied. That finally got a reaction. She looked up, suspicious, like she was waiting for sarcasm, guilt, a last-minute plea. I gave her nothing. She shrugged, grabbed her keys, and walked out. I stood by the window and watched her load the suitcase into the car. She checked her reflection, adjusted her hair, smiled at herself. Not once did she look back at the house. Not once did she hesitate. Then she drove off. The silence she left behind felt strange, but not bad. Honest. For 6 months, I told myself I was overthinking. That work stress explained everything. That distance was normal. That adults drift sometimes. But the truth had been sitting right in front of me. and I've been politely stepping around it. When Mark first entered our lives, it seemed harmless. She came home talking about a new guy at work. Smart, funny, great ideas. Then his name became a permanent guest at our dinner table. Then the late nights started. Then the phone turning away. Then the laughter she didn't share. By month 5, we weren't partners. We were roommates sharing a calendar. 3 weeks before the trip, I finally asked her if she was happy. Not accusing, not angry, just tired. She laughed it off, called me dramatic, but she never answered the question. Her car pulled into the driveway at 3:17 p.m. She walked in glowing. No hook, no pause. I'm exhausted, she said, opening the fridge. You're quiet, she added. Welcome home, I said. She smiled. The trip was incredible. Then she asked, did you think about what I said before I left? About the divorce? She nodded. I did. She smiled again. You should look at the table. The envelope sat there, waiting. Her confidence collapsed as she read. Divorce papers? She whispered. You told me to. I didn't think you actually would. And there it was. She never believed I'd choose myself. She cried. She begged. She promised things she'd ignored for months. I listened. Then I said, you don't want to fix this. You want to undo consequences. Her mother arrived. After hearing everything, she turned to her daughter and said, get your things. That's when the tears became real. Before leaving, Lauren said, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. I met her eyes. No, I waited too long to make the right one. The door closed. The house exhaled. Part 7, Epilogue. The weeks after were simple. Work, gym, friends, sleep. The divorce finalized quietly. Months later, I ran into her. She looked tired. I felt nothing. 3 months after that, I went on a casual date. Driving home, I realized something. I was happy. She told me to get a divorce if I didn't like her choices. Best advice she ever gave me. Sometimes the most painful words someone says to you are the ones that finally set you free. If this story hit close to home, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Who do you think was right in this husband-wife debate? And don't forget to subscribe for more real relationship stories that tell the truth people are afraid to say out loud.